Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah with Theresa B DIY. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm taking part in a special challenge and I will get into that in a few minutes. But let's start off with our first craft. First we're going to take one of these the United States of America. It's like a wood DIY kit that you can buy at the Dollar Tree, and it has all of the states in black all over this piece outlined, you know what I mean? And so I didn't want that, so I just painted it white. I think I used like 3 coats of white Waverly Chalk paint, and then I am using my ruler to mark off 1/2 inch areas to make like a shiplap look. And I'm just going to use my finger to smooth out those lines of my pencil to make it look more authentic. And then I'm going to take a dry brush and I'm just going to go over those lines a little bit with the white paint. Next, I'm going to take these letters from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint them with the Deco Art metallic paint. And then I am going to just glue those letters right to the front of the United States here. And as you can see, I did red, white, and blue. Next, I'm going to take this frame that I bought at the Dollar Tree and I'm going to take it apart, and I am going to cut out a new backing for this frame because I could not get that clip off of the backing. So why I didn't trace out the back, I don't know. But here I am just marking off with my ruler, and yeah, so just trace it. And then I'll just use my box knife to cut around it. This is really just medium weight chipboard, and so you could use scissors, but I wanted a really clean edge, so I just used my box knife. Next, I'm taking some fabric that I had in my stash. This is just a red and white gingham, and I am going to hot glue my fabric to my piece of chipboard here. And what I like to do is pull opposite sides first, and then the ends, and then I'll go in and do my corners. Next, I'm going to add my piece back into the frame, and I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue because I did cut it just a teeny tiny bit short, so I didn't want it to fall through. So I just used a little bit of hot glue to secure it, and then I am just going to hot glue the United States onto this piece. So I decided it needed a little something more, so I am taking some of this blue and white baker's twine that I picked up from the Dollar Tree and just some red embroidery floss that I had on hand. And I'm just going to make, you know, like a quadruple layer bow out of this stuff. So I'm just folding it in half again, and then I'm going to make a bow out of that. And I will hot glue it to the corner of the frame. Now, I sat and looked at this for the longest time and I just hated it. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it turned out. So I did change this up. I ended up painting the frame white and adding some flat back pearls around the edge and distressing them. And I ended up going around the United States with a black marker and adding some elements to the letters and putting the bow in the middle. So I like how this turned out a lot better. Let me know what you think. So today's challenge is hosted by Theresa B DIY. I will leave her channel in my description box down below. And her co-host today is Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs. Again, I will leave their channel in the description box below. And I will talk about the premise behind this challenge here in just a couple minutes. So my friends over at Plaid sent me a really wonderful box of goodies. And part of the goodies that they sent me were these 5 paints. This is their budget brand, Apple Barrel Paint. It comes in a wide variety of colors, and you can pick it up for about 50 cents a bottle at Walmart. So today I'm going to be using the red, white, and blue colors that they sent me. So thank you, Plaid, for sending me that wonderful box. And in future videos, I will talk about more of what they sent. So this was just a ornament piece, like a, one of the ornament signs that you could get at Dollar Tree during Christmas. And I cut it in half, and now I am just using a compass to mark off some circular areas. And I'm going to go in with a flat paintbrush, and I'm going to very carefully, now this is sped up quite a bit, so I'm taking my time and I'm going carefully along those edges because I didn't want to tape this off, but I wanted really crisp, clean edges. So I'm just going to go slow, take my time, and make sure my edges are nice and clean. And I do end up giving this about 3 coats of each color. So in case you can't tell, today's challenge is a patriotic themed challenge. So all of our projects today are patriotic themed to honor our veterans and serving military in the United States of America. We're so grateful for each and every one of you that have served, and I am so blessed to call this country my home. So I'm taking some sandpaper and I'm just going to distress this out a little bit. I want it to look old and a little, rustic. So then I'm going to take some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to dry brush that over with a chippy brush. And I do end up kind of wiping it off and then going back over just to make it really look old and grungy. And I'll go around the edges and darken those up nicely too. Then I took some tumbling tower blocks and I just hot glued them around the perimeter of this piece. And the big frame here is just one of the large wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. And I covered it with the burlap ribbon that you can also buy at the Dollar Tree. I just wrapped it around until it was covered. And it somehow or another, it perfectly fit. I actually had intended for this half circle to go onto a pizza pan, which you will see that project in the very last. That's my last project of the day. And I ended up having to change it all up at the last minute because it wouldn't stick to the pizza pan. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So this was my solution. I ended up coming up with 2 different projects instead of just one out of what I was originally going to do. So ended up working just fine. And somehow or another, this fit perfectly into this wreath form. I did not intend for it to. So it was a lucky go on that. So I'm just securing this down with hot glue to make sure that those edges don't, I want it to be secure because I'm going to end up putting florals in between the front piece and the back piece here. So these florals I picked up from Michael's, and when I saw them, I totally thought those are perfect for red, white, and blue projects. And then I'm just sticking in some of this foam scatter from the Dollar Tree that I put onto skewers. And then I am topping it off with this bow here. I believe I got that from the Dollar Tree last year. And here is a look at how it turned out. I think this really turned out great, especially for it being like just a whim project. I didn't have any plan for this. This was completely unplanned. So I really like how this turned out, and I think it'll be really cute in my house for Memorial Day and 4th of July. So today we are participating in this patriotic challenge that Theresa B DIY is hosting. She is donating all of her proceeds from her channel this month to Fisher House. Fisher House is a foundation that builds comfort homes where military and veteran families can stay for free while loved ones are in the hospital. It's kind of like a Ronald McDonald House for veterans and military families. So it is a wonderful cause. If you would like to donate, I will leave a link down below where you can donate to Theresa's cause. I think it is absolutely wonderful, and I will be donating as well. So on to our next project. I am taking this heart. These are one of these pallet hearts that were out in the Dollar Tree at Valentine's Day. I'm just going to mark off an area at the top, and then I'm going to paint this top portion with this blue apple barrel paint. And actually, I do end up going over the top of this paint with the Deco Art metallic paints. And I will leave all the products that I use in my description box down below. But Deco Art is also a brand of Plaid. So Plaid also produces the Deco Art brand. So it is, this metallic paint is just lovely. So once I get my colors on there how I want them, I am going to take some of this white twine from Walmart, and I'm going to wrap it around my heart just to kind of cover up where those lines were. They weren't super crisp. I just free-handed them, so they weren't like the most crisp, and I kind of wanted to cover that up a little bit. So I decided to just cover it with twine. It was an easy solution, and I think it turned out really cute. So I'm not mad about the solution at all. So I'll just wrap it around this heart like 3 times, I think. And I'm just securing with hot glue as I go. I did secure the very first piece in the front with a little bit of hot glue, but most of it's secured in the back. Next, I'm going to take these hearts I had in, stars. These are stars I had in my stash, and they were already painted white and had a little bit of glitter on them. So I just left them as is. And then I had this little star that was from the wooden sticker packs that you could get at Christmas time last year. The other side is gold. So I just painted this side with the white metallic paint, and you can see that shimmer of that metallic paint. It is absolutely fantastic. I love this paint, and I'm really happy about how this little project turned out. So I'm just making a twine bow here using multiple layers of twine to create a little bow, and then I will attach that with some hot glue. And here's a look at how this turned out. I think that this is really cute and a great way to use up products from other seasons. So for our last DIY, I took this pizza pan that I actually have, it's been hanging in my house for a while. I'd painted it with chalk paint and used it as a chalkboard, but now I am changing it. And so I painted it with one layer of some white matte spray paint. And then I'm just going around the rim and the raised areas with a little bit of black paint to give it that enameled look. I added some darker spots in the middle, and yeah, so I like how this turned out. I am taking, this is burlap that I bought from Walmart. It comes in a roll, and so I'm adding this across the front of my pie pan. Pizza pan. And as you can see up at the top there, I had drilled a hole in there so that I could add some twine and hang this up originally. And that actually comes in very handy for my bow, for attaching my bow. And you'll see that here in a minute. So I'm just using hot glue and being very careful not to burn my fingers because, you know, it's burlap and that hot glue comes right out. But the pizza pan cools that glue down super quick. So you got to work fast here. And then I'm just going to secure this in the back on each side so that the burlap is nice and tight across the front. And then I'm going to run a bead of hot glue along the bottom edge of the burlap so that I can put something in it. I was thinking that I'd put florals in it, and then I decided no, I didn't want to. So you'll see here in a minute what I end up putting in there, but you could definitely add florals to this, or you know, a number of different things. So then I'm adding some of this red gingham ribbon that I picked up at Valentine's Day from the Dollar Tree. And I am just securing it across the front of the burlap here. So here is my bow. And I did not do a tutorial on this bow because I have not mastered bows yet, and I'm not comfortable giving you guys tutorials on those. But I do like how this bow turned out. I think that it turned out very nice. And so I'm very pleased with it. So if I can get that mastered, then I will definitely show you some bow tutorials in the future. But until then, I will just kind of create the bows and put them on, because it is actually quite a process for me. This bow probably took me like 30 minutes to make. It's like rather ridiculous, actually. So this is some paper bunting, like, you know, that I had created, I think last year or the year before. And it's just little triangles that I've glued to a piece of baker's twine. It's very simple to do. And I just did it in a variety of, you know, red, white, and blues. So I am attaching that to the front of all of this. So I thought it would be really cute. I was kind of going back and forth between pom-poms and these little buntings. So I like the bunting. And next I'm going to add one of these flags that you can get at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to kind of secure this down where I want it. I kind of want it to have movement, but I wanted it to be like secured. So I am just kind of securing this where I think it would look best, and to give it, you know, some movement and some dimension really on this piece. And I don't end up putting a twine hanger or anything on the back, because this will be a shelf sitter in my house. I have a shelf in my living room that I decorate. And so that is all there is to this little project. I really, really love how this one turned out. I think it is really cute. And like I said before, it was kind of a last minute thought. I had planned to use that red, white, and blue half circle on this pizza pan. So, you know, it ended up working out well for that. So I really hope you enjoyed today's projects. I had so much fun creating these red, white, and blue patriotic projects, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to check out the playlist for all of the other patriotic videos that other creators have made for this challenge, and check out Theresa's donation page. Hope you all have a happy, blessed, and healthy day, and I'll talk to you next time.